Welcome back, friends. Mark Peotter here. I think this guitar needs a little more attention. I bought this guitar new in 1991. Over the years, I have made many modifications to this guitar. And as with all my guitars, I make modifications to them in one way or another. I am a working musician, so I need tools that are going to work well and easily for me. We have locking tuners instead of the standard Fender tuners. I've replaced one of the string trees with a rolling string tree, and I removed the other string tree completely. This way, as the string bends and moves, it will roll slightly underneath here, whereas with the Fender system, there's a little bit more friction underneath. Next we have the rolling nut. The advantage of the rolling nut is that when you bend and move your strings a lot, they will move more freely across the nut, putting them back in tune a little bit faster. The maple neck is original. The frets are still original. The body of the guitar is the original body and color. The pickguard has been changed. It used to be the plain white pickguard. And all the pickups have been changed. At the bridge and the neck, we have what's called a DiMarzio Fast Track. The Fast Track is a humbucker pickup in the size of a single coil slot. It has a little hotter output than the standard Fender pickups do. The pickup in the middle is from Seymour Duncan. It's one of their duck buckers. Now, the duck buckers come as a bridge, middle, and neck pickup set. This particular one is the bridge pickup from the duck buckers because it's the slightly louder of the three. And that seemed to go well with the DiMarzios for their output level. The 5-position switch is original. The volume and tone knob underneath are original, but I've taken away the second tone knob and replaced it with a split coil switch. So now I can split the whole guitar from humbuckers to single coils with the flick of a switch. Here's an example of the DiMarzio bridge pickup in a single coil mode. Now let's change it to humbucker. It's a lot more output. Let's do the same for the neck. Here's the neck as a single coil. Now let's change it to the humbucker. Again, it's just more output. Another modification on this guitar was the installation of the Alembic volume booster. The volume booster comes with a little tiny hole there where you can change the amount of gain with a tiny screwdriver. Right now it's set to about 70% of its maximum amount of gain. When I first installed that modification, I was hoping that it would make my guitar louder for the guitar solos. Well, what really happens is that now there is more signal coming out of the output jack and into whatever the first pedal or device is. So if there's any compression along the line, like a distortion pedal for example, then you're not that much louder. This is the middle pickup and the booster is off. Now let's turn the booster on. It's definitely a bigger, fuller sound. However, there is a drawback with this particular booster, and that is unwanted noise. Every now and then, while I'm playing, and maybe right during this video, you're going to hear that. That's the noise. So I avoid using this booster altogether for this reason. Okay, now with the booster on, you get much more signal to the amplifier. So if only it were clean all the time, I would love this. As with my Telecaster guitar, this guitar also has the Buzz Fighten tuning in it, even though it's not the Buzz Fighten nut that he sells. But the luthier assured me that the distance of where the string leads matches the same as if it were a Buzz Fighten nut. And now for the most radical modification, or maybe the proper word is setup change on this guitar, is the tremolo system. I saw a video put out by the Fender company where they demonstrated a guitar that was modified so that when you pull up on the tremolo, it stops at a specific point. Take a look at how high this tremolo is above the body of the guitar. Chances are your guitar is not like that. See that? So now when I pull the tremolo back to go upward, it'll go up and then stop at a certain point. In the video, they described a few guitar players that have this modification. One of them is Jeff Beck, and Jeff Beck happens to be one of my favorite guitar players in the whole world, so I had to have one. So here we go. We have, on the high E string, this is going to be a half step higher. See that? 1 fret higher. On the B string, it's a whole step higher, or 2 frets. See? On the G string, it's a step and a half, or 3 frets. The D string is slightly out of tune, but it's also a whole step like the B string. The A string is like the G string, where it's a step and a half. The low E string is also a step and a half, or 3 frets. I am releasing a new instrumental album that features this guitar and that phenomenon on a song called Magic Trick. And you will hear various intervals going up and down with this tremolo system. Okay? If you're in E minor, for example, that's kind of fun to go back and forth. Here's a strange one. On the G and the E string, you have a half step on the top, but a step and a half on the G, like this. Here's another interesting pair. On the G and the B string, you have a whole step on the B, but a step and a half on the G. So it comes out like this. Let's try another one. Here's a step and a half on both the D and the G strings. Maybe you wouldn't play the song this way, but here's another example of what you could do.